Mahabharat, Indian philosophy is made up of four knowledge bodies: Shruti, Smruti, Itihas, Puran. Shruti is revealed knowledge, Smruti is remembered knowledge, Itihas is recollection of what happened, and what is there in Vedas revealed knowledge through stories when it is mentioned, that is Puran. So very, very important, and we are focusing on Ved Vyasji's Mahabharat, not what we have seen or what we have read in WhatsApp or YouTube. We should know the correct itihas of how it happened, what happened exactly. Suppose someone is telling your life story to somebody else, it has to be correct, no? You know, and no one can say you went here, you did that, when you say that you never did that. So it has to be correctly understood, because through this itihas we understand dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Fulfilled, how to live a fulfilled life. So let us prepare ourselves by sitting straight, head, neck, backbone straight. Still body is very important. You must practice it every day to keep the body still. People directly try for meditation. My recommendation is at least for 6 months. Just do nothing, sit still, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour. Second step is to withdraw the mind at will. My own mind is there with me for long. From all that has happened in the past, all regrets of the past, anxieties about the future, tensions in the present moment, because mind is that which binds us. Mana eva manushyanam bandha mokshaya karanam. Amruta Bindu Upanishad says. So body is still, mind is quiet and alert. Let us focus on our breath, always in the present moment, always available, always fresh, always detached. Let us take a slow, deep, conscious breath. Most of the time, we do not take full breaths. The lungs are always 1/4 filled only. Let us be grateful that this knowledge is reaching us, and our all sense organs of actions are intact. So let us invoke God's grace and Guru Parampara's blessings for it by chanting loudly together. Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपित्थजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजं सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् श्रीवेदव्यासाय नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् हरि ओम.
Hari Om. Thank you, Manisha. So we are doing one of the very important knowledge bodies of Indic system is Itihas, history. And why are we studying? Janmejay was in the lineage of Pandavas. Vaishampayan Rishi told the Mahabharat, and while describing it, he told, Arthashastra midam punyam, Dharmashastra midam param, Moksha Shastra midam proktam, Vyasena mita buddhina. So why we should study? Because Mahabharat is a treatise, is one of the best books in the world available for understanding what is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. How to live a fulfilled life. At the end of the journey, there must be no regrets, no discontentment, no dissatisfaction. Otherwise by age and experience, one becomes bitter and bitter rather than better and better. And that we can see when we start talking to people after age of 60, 65, only their stories, which are not very pleasant stories, they remember. That means the life is not lived, fulfilled, life is not accomplished. So very complete scheme of life is given in Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And today we are on a very, very important point of time in life. That is today the Mahabharat, because all our Deva Devatas are ready all the time, Astra Shastra. We are not ready only. Some disease comes, we are not ready. Death comes, we are not ready. Some situation comes, we are not ready. And then there is panic. So we have to be ready. And this is a point where there is so much of confusion till now. I had so many people asking me, but why, Krishna instigated war. He could have stopped it, no. He could have avoided the war, no. But now those who are listening to history, if you are understanding what has happened, is anyone today listening here is on this side that, there was a point where this war could have been stopped. There was no way. So last time we saw that Pandavas' 12 years of Vanvas is completed. More difficult is 1 year of incognito living. How will they hide Bhim, Draupadi? Somehow they managed in Matsya Desh where Kichak what happened, and then Kauravas got the news that this could be the area where Bhim would be available and we can catch him, and then again their 12 years of Vanvas will start. See the thought process of Duryodhan. So if you actually see Pandava's life, they were born in forest. First 15 years they lived in forest because Pandu went in forest giving up the kingdom. After 15 years they came. Bhim was poisoned twice, then again Lakshagruha. Then again they came back and then they got Hastinapur. Then again there was a fight. Then there was a Indraprastha, dry land was given. Again out of Dias cheating they were sent with so much of insult. 12 years staying in forest is not easy. And who are these Pandavas? Like we can go and stay anywhere in incognito. Today in our building only nobody will come to know whether we are staying or no. That is how the state is. If we walk in our building only in complex, people say, oh, you stay here? Oh, I didn't know you are living in ground floor. I live in 15th floor. But how to hide? Not very easy. And after all these things, the greatness of Pandavas is that they are not asking even for Hastinapur. Please note down points. They are not even asking Hastinapur, though Yudhishthir is the senior most. He is the eldest. Point number 1. They are asking for Indraprastha. Acha, they are not even asking for Indraprastha. Yudhishthir asking for 5 villages. And who has come for peace negotiations when India-Pakistan war was going on, one phone call from Trump, the war stopped. Here Krishna himself is coming for peace talk. Please don't go ahead. Gandhari is telling, please don't get into war. Bhishma is telling, Vidur is telling, but then Mr. Duryodhana is not listening. Dhritarashtra, the king of Hastinapur, is not convinced. And the war becomes inevitable. So now this is a point where many people still have this doubt, especially Hindus, that Krishna could have avoided war. Tell me one point how Krishna can avoid war. He has shown the Vishwarup. Peace messenger should not be caught, should be treated like a guest, royal guest, state guest. But Duryodhana orders that imprison Krishna because without Krishna, Pandavas will be powerless. That is his thought process. So now Duryodhana felt like giving this 5 villages as a defeat. Now we have to also understand some psychology of the players who are in this game. For Duryodhana, giving those 5 villages was like a defeat. I don't want to give even 5 villages, not even one needle point. That is adharma. And the destruction is guaranteed when greed clouds logic. When ego clouds wisdom, when jealousy clouds judgment, very important points, and winning clouds surviving. His point was we need to survive. Just 1 month back, alone Arjuna had defeated the Kauravas. And then many people who are, little Duryodhan lovers, still there are Duryodhan lovers, Ravan lovers, Karna lovers. They say, no, there is he said that, there is one verse, Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti, Janami adharmam nachame nivrutti, Kenapi devena rudhistitena, Yatha niyuktosmi tatha karomi. This verse is not there in entire Mahabharata. Ved Vyasji's Mahabharata is not there only. Duryodhana has never said this verse that I know dharma, but there is some force what you are only, giving me. So the blame comes on Krishna only. I have had discussion on this with many people. They say, see, Duryodhana was helpless in this situation, So they are justifying adharma. This verse is not there in Ved Vyasji's Mahabharata. So from today we must remove this verse. Somebody later who is Duryodhana lover would have added this. And why this happened? Because this Yuddha, now what we are, the point is the Kurukshetra, the Dharma Yuddha. It is basically what? It is a decision consequence Yuddha. Basically, what is a Yuddha going on inside us all the time? It is about decision making. What is the decision I have to take just now? Whether to listen to this completely or, listen to this with distraction of WhatsApp and YouTube, or do this or do that. What is the decision? Every point there is a war. Now here in this case, Duryodhana's decision making and Arjun's decision making is very, very important. Duryodhana heard Bhishma, Gandhari, his own mother, Vidur, Krishna himself telling, don't get into this war. This will lead to Kuru Vansha destruction. Because there is Pandavas there with Drupada army, with Matsya Virat Desh, and they will have other armies coming. Your side also is powerful. It is going to be a world war. Lot of destruction will happen. But he also had to, even Shakuni mentioned sometimes that don't get into this war. But then he didn't hear himself, and Karna propelled the fire that no, we should fight the war. So now, very important point, not ignorance, but inability to act on what he knows. He knew that destruction is going to happen, but he still went into war. And why this point is important in Mahabharata is this is the point where Lord Krishna has taken avatar, Vishnu has taken avatar. Vishnu has taken avatar for this only, to establish dharma. And in earlier yuga, we were going to see that before we go into the yuddha. Because this question also many people ask, why Krishna didn't fight? Earlier yuga, Rama fought. Because Duryodhana had not troubled him directly. There Ravana had abducted Rama's wife only. So he cannot delegate that, okay, Ravana has taken my wife away, and he didn't call other kings in Ayodhya and then fought. He himself fought, went to Lanka and fought and got his own wife. So you cannot delegate if your own wife is abducted. But here, Lord Krishna was king of Dwarka. He was not directly troubled by Duryodhana and team. So by staying as a charioteer, accepting that I will remain a charioteer, he was fully involved in the war. Yet he didn't claim that I was victorious. He told Arjun and Hastinapur was victorious. Very important point. Complete involvement without entanglement. Many of us actually, this Karma Yoga is not understood only here. Mahabharata is the best way to understand Karma Yoga. No, I don't want to get into any activity now. No, activity I have to be. Lord Krishna had no intention. Why he was there in that war? As an advisor, completely involved every moment. But finally, we didn't say that Krishna won. We say Arjun won the war. Pandavas won the war. Act fully without personal attachment to outcome. He taught in Mahabharat war by action, and that is what he told in the Bhagavad Gita. Participate in all activities without enhancing and having that egoic ownership. That is what he displayed in this war. Krishna demonstrated that I will be the counsel, I will be the coach, I will design the strategies. And he enabled Arjun to fight the war and told Arjun that the most difficult thing in life, this is the core message of the Mahabharata war, what Krishna told Arjun, that fight without anger and hatred, fight without attachment to the outcome. Now today, still Hindus are not fighting only. They are seeing adharma happening in front of them, but they are, no, I just see WhatsApp, and send some WhatsApp forward to another person. That is what is dharmo rakshati rakshita. Do not tolerate nonsense. Do not tolerate adharma. Bhishma knew, but he tolerated adharma. And that's the reason he was there on 72 days on the arrow bed. So Krishna's role was different. So suppose now we just compare Lord Ram and Lord Krishna. Why? Because this question also I have come across. That in Ram and Ravan Yuddha, in earlier Yuga, there was black and white. Ravana abducted, had arrogance and was doing adharma. Ram, a Maryada Purushottam, a king of Ayodhya. And so the war was personal between Ram and Ravan, personal war. And that's the reason Ram faces Ravan one-on-one and kills him. So in that context, in that yuga, dharma means do your duty yourself, even if it is very difficult. Even if I have to go from Ayodhya to Lanka, I should go. If Ram wouldn't have fought, then he would have failed his Kshatriya dharma as a king. He would have failed as a Kshatriya king towards his duty towards his wife. So in that context, Sri Ram fought the war himself. But this Kurukshetra war is different, where Lord Krishna, who is Vishnu's avatar, because here the matter is complex, very complex. It is a family conflict going on for property, which has become a dharma yuddha. Both sides have great warriors, both sides have virtuous people, both sides have good people, noble people. In Ram and Ravan yuddha, Vibhishan was only one who came this side, and so it was Rakshas versus Lord and Manav, who was in the Manav form, human form. It was very clear. Here it was not like that. There were good and bad people, both the sides. If Krishna would have fought the war, this would have been an unfair war. God versus everyone. Though he has taken human form, he won Sudarshan Chakra and then he can kill everyone. So not a fair war, not a contest. So here dharma in Dwapar Yug means ensure the right outcome even if you don't act directly. But I must be doing something about it. Just reading about TCS news and this news and just keeping quiet is tolerating adharma. What is my contribution? So now war is inevitable. So whenever any conflict and war happens, why it happens? Today also we are seeing America, Israel, Iran war happening. When the dialogue collapses, war happens, number one. Any conflict happening between two people, the dialogue has collapsed. The communication is not happening. And why dialogue collapses? Because there is rigidity, there is injustice, ego hardens, and that is what exactly we are seeing today also, which happened 5,000 years back. So establishing dharma, why Lord Krishna took avatar for this moment, is not about winning. It is about restoring the balance. Dharmo rakshati rakshita. One who protects the dharma, dharma protects that person. Now there are one myth we have to destroy. This was Gurudev's famous, conversation. Most of the time, many of the Hindus and many people think just do good, be good. That is dharma. No, no, no. Be good and nothing bad will happen to me. Good people will always remain safe. This is a big myth. If we do not do right now today, already there are 25% enemy has happened. That will become 40%. Again, I will repeat one of the myth. Mostly Hindus have this myth. Be good and nothing bad will happen to me. We can see so many attacks have happened on Bharat Varsha because of this one myth. We must learn from history, Gurudev says. And good people are always safe. Not at all. Because there are bad people waiting outside. We must be alert. We must be equipped. We must be prepared. We must have Shastra Astra. No, no, I just want to be good, do good, be in my home and then close all doors and think that I am a very good person. Just cook my food and then I think I am a good person by reading some scriptures. No, no, no. Reality is very important. I heard this sentence recently. Satyameva Jayate is not the truth. That is not the truth. Satya along with Shakti is the truth. Satya along with Shakti. Astra, Shastra. Shastra and Shastra both are required. Those people are having Shastra, they don't know Shastra. Those who know Shastra, they have no power, no strength, no Shastra with them. And that is the reason these all things are happening because 70% Hindus in TCS still kept quiet. This is Kurukshetra war. Now also it is happening. That time also it was happening. Earlier also it was happening. Not that Kali Yuga is bad and earlier Yugas were. All Yugas are the same. Wars were happening. So now we get into Kurukshetra war. So strategies started building up there. And Duryodhana's calculation was we must have bigger army than Pandavas. So we know that both went to Lord Krishna and Duryodhan was interested in his one Aukshani Sena. So he got it and Arjun went for Nihatta. I will not fight. I will not take up Shastra, Astra. Krishna's guidance. Entire Bharat Varsha was involved. Last time we mentioned before the session ended. In Mahabharat, Sanjay describes 150 rivers, 220 provinces, kings from Syria to Turkey to Indonesia. You can just check today the global map. You can just take the world map and see where is Indonesia and where is Turkey. Those were all the kings involved in the war. Pandavas had 7 Aukshani and Kauravas had 11 Aukshani Sena. What is Aukshani? We will see now. This is very important. 1 Aukshani means 1,09,350 foot soldiers. That is called as infantry today. One who are ground. And that's the reason today in Iran, ground invasion is not possible because still America cannot do ground invasion because foot soldiers are there and there are a lot of strategies there. 21,870 chariots means on chariot 1,870 elephants means there will be one mahout on each and 65,610 horses and one horse rider. So approximately if you see this is an important math because then only we understand it was a world war. 2.6 lakhs people in one Aukshani. So if one Aukshani is 2.6 lakh, Pandavas had 7, Kauravas had 11, that means 18. So 18 into 2.6, approximately 47 lakhs people participated. That was almost 1/3 population of Bharatvarsha. They say of the entire world only. So who remained? Only old people, women and small children. Everyone participated. They have done a lot of research that when such kind of thing happens, there is a DNA imbalance happen. And they have calculated during this time the DNA imbalance happened because X and Y chromosomes and X chromosomes. So there are researches done that when in this last thousands of years this chromosome imbalances happened. This was the time. So still people say and past, no, did the war happen? Why all these things, history we are telling like this? That the myth should go, that it is not a mythology, it is history. 47 lakh people participated, men. How many remained? 11 people remained. 11 participating warriors remained. Who were they? In Pandavas, number 1, Krishna. 5 Pandavas. Satyaki. Satyaki is a Yadav warrior who was disciple of Arjun. Yuyutsu, son of Dhritarashtra. So that becomes 8. And then from Kaurava's side, 3. Ashwathama, Kripacharya, Kritavarma. These were the 3 who were responsible for killing the Pandavas, Draupadi's children. Only 3 people didn't fight the war who were the warriors that time. One was Balram. Balram told, I will not fight because Bhim and Duryodhan both are my Shishya. So he went on pilgrimage. Rukmi, brother of Rukmini, he didn't fight because he came to both, but both rejected his offer that you don't be part of Pandavas of Kauravas because he was little egoistic. And Vidur. In entire Mahabharat, there is no mention of Vidur fighting any war or going on any war. So 3 remained. 3 didn't fight. 11 only remained participating warriors. So you can see the kind of mammothness of the war. So all these statistics is important. And there is one more myth which is there, which is much later. There is no mention anywhere in any of the scriptures of Ved Vyasji's Mahabharat or even many major Mahabharats which are considered as authentic, that the king of Udupi provided food is a myth. There is no mention anywhere that king of Udupi provided food for everybody. There is no mention anywhere in this Mahabharata. It is not mentioned in any edition. So how the food was given, water, washing, we will see that because that is very important, which is normally not, because so many people fighting on Kurukshetra. Now, as we know, Bhagavad Gita starts with this verse, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre. So why this Kurukshetra is called as Dharmakshetra? Why not only a war ground? So Kurukshetra is called as Dharmakshetra because this Kurukshetra, we will see the geography today, how the geography was selected and why it was selected. This was a Dharmakshetra for long, thousands of years since Kurus were there. This was a land of yajnas, a land of cultural center and a sanctified bhumi. And Kuru's capital was there on this. And this war was declared as a Dharmakshetra. One who dies in the war goes to heaven. That we will see in the last part. There is still that confusion. That when war got over, Duryodhan was into heaven and then Pandavas were in hell. This is another myth. What is going on? We will see what is the reality there. Very interesting history about it. So it was not a battlefield. It was a decision making karmic consequences. Lot of karmas were fulfilled, lot of karmas were, vasanas were created there. Now we will see some geography before we get into the war. The war, according to Nilesh Oak, started on 16th October 5561 BCE. Exact date is given. And why this is important, why we have to tell? Because still people ask, oh, do you really think war happened? Actually, if we see archaeology and historical evidence, there is no evidence of Jesus, Alexander being born, and there no archaeological historical evidence is there. But here people are doubting, no, Krishna was there. Do you think Krishna, Ram, Sri Ram was there? Of course, all geography, history are mentioning. It is not mythology. 16th October 555-61 BC it started, and end of the war was 31st October 5561 BCE, 18 days later. Bhishma Nirvana happened in Uttarayan, 13th January 5560. So Bhishma lived, Bhishma collapsed, Bhishma was on the arrow bed on the 10th day. If you calculate, approximately 73 days he was there on that arrow bed in the battlefield. And that is the time we are going to see that Raja Dharma, what Bhishma has given, that is a biggest voluminous portion in the Mahabharat. To Yudhishthir, after the war, Krishna advises Yudhishthir that go and request Bhishma to talk on Dharma. He is the greatest person on planet today who will teach you how to be a good king. What is Raja Dharma? What is Arjuna's age when war happened? 71 years old. He had a 16-year-old son, Abhimanyu, and Arjun's death is at 108 years. Krishna's age exactly same, because Arjun and Krishna were of same age, 71. Because it is written in some of the editions that when Krishna used to go and meet Pandavas, he used to bow down to Yudhishthir and Bhim. Bhim were elder to him. And Nakul and Saudev used to prostrate Krishna and he used to hug Arjun. So Krishna's age when the war happened was 17 years old, 71. After that, 36 years Pandavas ruled, and Lord Krishna gave up his body at the age of 107 after 1 year, Arjun. And how this is, a lot of evidences are there. When Krishna killed Kansa, he was 11 years old. So now we'll see some geography. This Hastinapur, Indraprastha, Kurukshetra is a triangle. Today also we can see. Indraprastha is Delhi near Purana Killa. It is Yamuna river is mentioned many times. Hastinapur is Meerut district. Comes in Uttar Pradesh. Ganga is there. And Kurukshetra is Haryana district. Kurukshetra is 150 kilometers from Hastinapur. And Indraprastha is around 165 kilometers. And definitely they say that this land is still there. Very barren, very dry. Right now it is not like that. But at that time there were a lot of water bodies around it, 2 rivers flowing around. Because 47 lakh people, where they will get water? Here in one small function we have to do in Saraswati Vidyalaya, 100 people, we have to think of water, food. 47 lakh people for 18 days. So there is a detailed description where they were taking water from, which were the water bodies, which were the rivers. They used to take bath. And then evening after 6 o'clock, the sunset happening, then they were having cooks. Every king who got the army had their own cooks, their own Brahmins. Why the Brahmins are required to do Antak Kriya? Because every day so many people are dying. Who will do? and then taking bath, Sandhya Vandanam, all is this mentioned there. And so this is a description of how the Kurukshetra was decided. It was equidistant from Indraprastha and Hastinapur. It was a large flat area where war can happen. It was a large area where war used to happen. On the sides, there used to be tents and the cooking used to happen. Details are mentioned of the cooking, how the for Kshatriyas, non-veg used to be made. For Brahmins who are doing Antakriya, they used to do every day and then coming back, taking bath where, and then again taking bath in the morning and getting into the war. It was Dharma Yuddha. Very interesting it is. So every king had their own, like a catering contract is given, cooking food, taking bath, every king had their own camps. And there used to be exchange from one camp to another camp after the war because they were there only. Now these distances are mentioned because of this, what is coming next. Another myth what we have is that, Sanjay was sitting with Dhritarashtra in Hastinapur and he saw the entire Mahabharat happening sitting in Hastinapur. No, 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 no. Here it is very different. So the blind king Dhritarashtra is deeply anxious about the Kurukshetra war. And he expresses his desire that I want to know everything what is happening on the battlefield. So Vedvyasji comes and says, okay, O king, the war will be terrible. If you wish, I can give you and grant you the vision to see what is happening with your children directly. Now, very important point. See, when there is guilt in the mind, when my conscience is not clear, Dhritarashtra refuses. He says, no, 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 I don't want the vision. But then you have the desire to see what is happening. No. He says, no, no, you give it to my Friday man. Sanjay is his man to go. So now very important point. This is very interesting point to note down and understand and see how the things were happening. So Vedvyasji blesses Sanjay with extraordinary powers. Now what Sanjay receives, that is most interesting one. So first of all, first boon what he gives is that Sanjay will be able to see the events happening in the entire Kurukshetra miles away in real time. Second boon he gives that you can hear the conversations and also the thoughts of the warriors and each person there on Kurukshetra. And that is how the Gita is coming to us, because Gita was told in certain Vani, not that they are talking. So after the war, he go to Hastinapur where Dhritarashtra is sitting. And Sanjay gave the first war detail through Dhritarashtra on the 10th day. When Bhishma fell down, that is the time Dhritarashtra asked, and that is the time Bhagavad Gita starts. And that is the time Sanjay has given the narration. So after the death of Duryodhan, Sanjay's Divya Drushti, what Vedvyasji gave, disappeared instantly. So it is very interesting. Many people, I also used to think that he was sitting in nice AC room with Dhritarashtra, and then from there he used to see what is happening, and then like a TV, people used to go, see that time there was TV. No, no, no. It is like every day he used to go up and down from the 10th day to the 18th day. He was fighting war. He was about to get killed. And so because the first question in Bhagavad Gita is asked in the past tense. Please tell me what has happened with my children and Pandu's children. So now this information, technical and this geographical, historical information is required because we are on a very important point of war. So before the war, the strategies are happening. In Pandava's side, general is appointed as Drushtadumna. We know he is the son of Drupada. And both the sides in the Kurukshetra, the armies are lined up. Shankhanad has happened. And Arjun gets deluded. We have learned Bhagavad Gita. I think those who are here today present, they have read Bhagavad Gita, chanted Bhagavad Gita many times. So we know the starting point where how Arjun gets deluded, who has actually defeated the entire Kaurava army 1 month back, and says, I do not want Hastinapur, I don't want to fight, etc., etc. And then the entire Bhagavad Gita happens. Here in the Kaurava side, when this Krishna is deluded and Bhagavad Gita is told and later on he is ready to fight, Bhishma is appointed as the general. And there is a conflict which happens between Karna and Bhishma. Bhishma blames Karna. Karna also insults Bhishma. So it's not a team, There is a conflict in their own team only. And then Karna decides that till Bhishma is the general, I will not fight. It is a good thing happening to Pandavas because Karna didn't fight when Bhishma fought. And out of 18 days war, 9 days Bhishma was the general. Greatest warrior, he was the eldest. Bhishma's age during the war was around 130 to 140. 3 generations he has seen. So day 1 to day 9, it is Bhishma show. Bhishma devastates Pandava's army. Uttara, who is Virat's son, where the war happened 1 month back, where Pandava said Bhishma kills him. And first 9 days, it has been mentioned in Mahabharat war that there is no warrior in the entire planet who fought like Bhishma at that age. Vruddha. The energy, the skills, the weapons, because he was not an ordinary human being, he was Yaksha. Bhishma becomes unstoppable, invincible till 9th day. Nobody is able to defeat him, retrieve him, take him back. So what Bhishma is doing is that he is killing Pandava's army but not killing Pandavas. Because he says, I will not kill Pandavas, but I am the commander. My duty is to protect Hastinapur. Now on the 9th day, Krishna sees and lifts and gets very, very angry on Arjun. That Arjun also is not fighting Bhishma as he should fight. He says, I will let go my Pratitnya, I will lift my Sudarshan Chakra and kill Bhishma here. If you do not fight with Bhishma as a warrior and not look at him as a grandfather, I will lift Sudarshan Chakra. For dharma, I can let go my Pratitnya. That is a very important point. So for dharma, whatever brutality is to be done, whatever war has to happen, how many people are to be killed, it is okay because this is dharma yuddha. Dharma has to be established. So Krishna lifts the wheel and says, I will kill Bhishma. Arjun says, no, give me next day, tomorrow I will do it. And then they sit back in the camp on the 9th day, decide that as a strategy, it will be difficult to have one-on-one with Bhishma. He is unbeatable, invincible. So Krishna suggests that we'll bring Shikhandi in front of you. So Shikhandi comes and stands before Arjun. Now the myth is that the moment Shikhandi comes, Bhishma gives up all astra shastra. No, the war happens for a long time, whole day. Only thing what Bhishma does is that he knows Shikhandi's background, that she was a woman, Amba. So and behind that Arjun is standing. But Bhishma is so skillful, he is still attacking Arjun. The war goes on for almost three-fourths of the day. Terrible war between Arjun and Bhishma. But because Bhishma's now is taking time to send the arrows, Arjun is too fast before it. Because Bhishma has to avoid Shikandi and then attack Arjun. In that, Bhishma's arrow speed starts reducing. This is what is written exactly. And fierce war happened and Arjun brings him down on arrows. Because all sides arrows are there and Bhishma falls down. And Bhishma is happy and says that today I am falling down, but I am falling down with the arrows of one of the greatest archer and my most loving Arjun. And when Bhishma falls down, his head is hanging because he's there on the arrow bed. He says, Arjun, that my head is hanging. Please do something. And Arjun puts one arrow and then he gets a nice arrow bed and his head also is on the same line. Then it's evening happening. Now Bhishma is fallen down. He says, Arjun, I am thirsty. And then from there, Arjun is all described. Arjun sends an arrow and then the water comes from the ground and it reaches Bhishma. Now Bhishma is lying there on the Kurukshetra for next 8 days. Lot of people are dying. People keep visiting him every day. It's all going on in the evening after the war. And he has got a boon of Ichha Marana. He can decide his death. But Bhishma doesn't give up his body because even though he's Ichha Marana, he lives on till the... Now why does he live on? Because his Pratijna is what? Hastinapur should be safe, whether it is Kauravas or Pandavas. So only when the war is over, when he realizes now the Hastinapur is safe with Yudhishthira and Pandavas, after the Uttarayan starts, he waits till Uttarayan, that we all know, and then he gives up his body. So 73 days he lives post that. And that is where one of the biggest, best Raja Dharma dialogue between Yudhishthir and Bhishma happens. So on the 11th day now, Karna enters the war because Karna had taken that pratijna that I will not fight till Bhishma is fighting. And on the 11th day, Drona becomes the commander, general of Kaurav army. And we will see one of the most fascinating day 13th, 12th day, Drona plans, and on the 13th day, most cruelty happening from Kaurava's side. And we will see that very interesting rules are broken from that day. The war continues at the night time. And we will see what are the different strategies Kauravas and Pandavas employ. And actually, suppose we read Mahabharat, not only we only know one Chakra view. Every day there was a different view, Garuda view, this view, that view, and how they used to fight. It has been explained in detail. So, next Sunday will be the 12th day of the war. We will start. And we will see how Drona creates one of the best strategies to capture Yudhishthir. Just because of Lord Krishna's grace and being there on Pandava's side, the Yudhishthir is saved. Otherwise, if the king is caught, the war is over. War is over. So we will see on the 12th day how Drona plans and what he does and what happens post that. And also post-war, lot of things happen. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.